Over to you, Richard.
Thanks, Rowley. Hi, everyone. As Rowley mentioned, we're going to go into a bit of a product demo now. So this demo will encompass the questions that were referred to earlier that Mark's been working on to help identify and conduct that talent management assessment. It's also going to show some new features that we've been working on around the whole area of calibration. So we've heard a lot about calibration and what businesses do with the initial ratings that managers provide on the 9-box grid or otherwise. So we've been working on a tool to allow you to do that a lot more easily through the platform. The way we've set this demo up, it's a sort of sample year-end review with a sort of performance and talent assessment that uses our calculated score functionality to generate a 9-box score and then goes through to calibration. This is a sort of single combined review, but many people may decide that the talent review happens at a separate time to the performance conversation, and we support all of that as well. Alex will go through the demo now, but you'll also see a few other little features that we've got that we've included in the demo, such as sections of reviews that are hidden from the employee, calculated ratings, as I mentioned, mandatory questions, 9-box grid, and lots of other things. It'd be really great to hear your thoughts and any questions that you've got at the end, but for now I will hand over to Alex who'll run through the demo.
Thanks, Richard. So yeah, exactly as Richard said, we're going to run quickly through an annual review for one of our team members, have a look at what that looks like and some of the functionality in there. I've actually completed quite a lot of this review, so we're just going to go in and finalize it off. Of course, we have our normal review process. We can see that we're at the manager stage. A new feature that's out as well, just to mention, is Outlook integration. A lot of businesses use Outlook. Please do turn that on. I think it's proved to be very popular, and you can set your meetings up from within Appraisd now and link to any Teams meetings or anything like that. Alongside that, we've got our 3 sections. Now, of course, this is probably a cut down form in comparison to what a lot of people would have, but I thought I'd just show off a few of the things. So we're collecting some strengths from the previous year. How does Aaron think he's doing? How do we think he's doing? Aaron's rated his objectives, and so have we. And then we have some skills or competencies that are set by the business, and we're asked to rate against them, much as you would see in a lot of annual reviews. One of the things that we've done at the moment in this review is create a calculated score. So instead of asking outright, what's the performance for Aaron, we're actually using those different ratings throughout the form, both on the objectives and on these competencies, to try and take away sort of a put this person straight in this box bias and let their work sort of speak for themselves. So in this case, if we were to choose, say, exceeds expectations, we'd end up with exceed expectations, but if it was meets expectations, that would then sort of average out to meets expectations. So that's an example of the kind of automated calculations we can do. We can do more, see some of those later. The next section is about the future. So of course, setting objectives for the next year, identifying development areas that you should focus on, why you should focus on them, and also a chance, as Mark mentioned, for the individual to talk about what they want from their future. What kind of role progression are they targeting? Which office locations or would they be interested in moving to? Of course, you can ask more questions as well as needed, and you can report on all of these alongside succession planning sort of questions. So this is something that's just available for the manager. I'm Jenny in this case. These won't be visible, but obviously all the previous ones were visible to Aaron. So we could say something like, he's ready in the next few months, he's doing very well, he's ready for finance manager role. Some questions about leaving risk and other questions about what that risk looks like for the business. Criticality, why it's critical, these kinds of questions, and we'll be making this template available for people to base their forms off as well. In In the next section, we then have a talent management section. So this section is fully hidden from the individual, not just specific questions in it. And here's about measuring potential. So as we said, Mark's done a lot of work and investigation into how can we try and take away some of the bias around potential? How can we set up questions to prompt managers in the right direction? So there are 6 questions that we've created here. And as we go through and answer them, what we do is we sum them all up, and based on the total out of 5 for each one, bad to good, we then end up with a potential score, much like we saw with the performance score before. And again, of course, that is reflected on what we choose. And then finally, we're using those 2 scores to place an individual on the grid. So here they're medium performance, high potential, and if we were to choose medium potential, would see them drop down into the core area. Of course, this 9-box grid is something that Mark's very kindly put together for us. We think it's really great, but you know, much like Laura said, maybe 9 boxes isn't right for you. Maybe 5 is, maybe 25 is. We can support all of these. You can customize them as you see fit. You can change your scales and definitions, and the combinations of scores or calculations that go into who sits where. And obviously, if you don't want to do it based on calculations, we have our normal grid type question where you can just ask the managers to go, we suggest this is the right one, but use your instinct to put them into the one that you think best fits. So once you run through all of this and you get the managers to input this data, what can you do with it in Appraisd? And you know, we really wanted to make this as fluid as possible, as good as possible. So obviously, our normal reporting stands out, but most people will go through a calibration process. So we've built a new calibration tool to help support what that process looks like. Let's have a quick look at it. So if we head into the Administration Center, this is our new Save Reports page where you can design and save your own reports for Appraisd. It's currently in beta. It's open. If anyone wants to join it right now, please contact your CSM. But it'll be coming out for everyone pretty soon as well. So you'll start to see this in your systems as well. And one of the reports that we've saved is our 2024 annual reviews. These are the ones that we just ran through an example of. If I click in and have a look and see what's the state of all those reviews at the moment, and you can see that the one we were just completing is ready for review. I should have submitted it. And actually there are 1 or 2 still remaining. And in this case, Kieran who's the reviewer, happens to be on sabbatical. So we know this review is not going to go any further. Let's go ahead and calibrate these reviews. You know, time pressures, we can't always get a rating from the managers in time. So yeah, come in once again. You can check what all the scores are for all the individuals. And when we're ready, as I said, we don't need Kieran's response to start calibration. We can do that and start calibrating. One of the interesting things I think is visibility. So Brendan was speaking a lot about, you know, do you make these things visible? Do you not? Our calibration tool will work whether you've hidden the section with the ratings in or not. So if you want to be open about the different scores, that's fine. If you have a more closed process where you keep those ratings just for the managers or HR, we of course support that as well. So we now have ratings that are ready for us to calibrate. So I'm just going to rating. And what we get is a nice drop down for each one. So you can see that we copy the manager rating, but of course you need to be able to change it. So we maintain what the reviewer provided, but let you, as during your calibration meetings, adjust. So Kieran wasn't available to provide one. We go through a discussion, and actually he fits well. The reviewee fits well into. He fits well into the core box. Of course, you can do things like we can sort on just have a look at our underperformers. Maybe we want to have a look at the top boxes. But I think one of the nicer things we've built is the ability for you to have a look at this in a visual fashion. So you can have a look at a plot of everyone across the business. If you're a much bigger business, you'll have a lot more names. So we let you filter down to maybe you do department by department. You can, of course, use our filter tools to do that, or region by region, manager by manager. And here we go. If we have a look at this, we can see that actually there's an awful lot of people, 18% up here in our future leader box. We're going to discuss this box quite a lot, I suspect, and maybe we identify that actually Chandler's really should be sitting in the growth. So all we have to do is drag and drop Chandler across. That'll update the calibrated rating. And of course, we can do that for anyone in any of the boxes. If we need to go and have a look at why someone's in a given box, we can simply click on their name, go have a look at the review. We can see the reasoning that the manager's given for all of their ratings, and we can discuss those in the meeting. Hopefully all the information you need for that meeting, that calibration meeting to happen, is going to be at your fingertips. If we switch back to the grid view, we can see that those scores have changed. And we can release those calibrated responses. So we release them all. So we've gone through all our calibration process. We're going to release those back to the manager in this case because it's in a hidden section. And we go ahead and do that. I think one of the nice things, building back into the new save reports functionality that we have, we now give you the opportunity to save those calibrated responses. They're often responses that HR are going to need to come back to over and over again. We can save those as a scores and comments report. So you get a quick link straight into those, and we can see a distribution as well. Now, maybe you don't do calibration on your 9-box grids, but you do it on your overall ratings. Maybe use a 1 to 5 scale or a does not meet exceeds expectation scale. We support all of those as well. We'll have a quick look at maybe just one 1 to 5 calibration report. In part because I think when you do these rather than 9-box grids, especially if you have something like matrix managers or sign-off managers, you often want their input as well. So one of the things you can do is bring, let's have a look at what the second manager and the sign-off also said alongside the reviewer. Are there differences between what the reviewer said and what they said during the calibration meeting? You can use all of that. And we've actually gone through the calibration process. And one of the things you can do is have a look at the distribution of scores pre-calibration and during your calibration. So we can see here that actually the distribution was pretty flat, maybe a few too many over scoring top marks over here. We're looking more for that bell curve that's now displayed after we've gone through our calibration for our calibrated scores. So hopefully this gives you some tools just to make sure you've got the right distribution across your business, whatever that distribution should look like. I really hope everyone likes it. It's going to be available coming soon. Any feedback, please, we'd love to hear it. And if you want to have a call with me, I believe we're going to share a link where you can give me your thoughts in person if you want to. So looking forward to hopefully speaking to some of you as well. Thanks.
Thanks, Alex. And for those of you on the call that are Appraisd clients, if you want to see any of this in more detail or want to enable any of these features, please reach out to me or your CSM. We'd be more than happy to talk through it further. For those of you that aren't Appraisd clients and want to see this in more detail, then also reach out to us and we can arrange a call and a demo with you to show you some of this functionality in more detail. Now hand over to Emily, who will close out the session. Unless there are any comments or questions, please put those in the chat and we will address those.
Yes, I just want to say a massive thank you to our panelists today. It was really, really interesting to hear your thoughts and your expertise. And as we mentioned, we will be sharing the contact details post this webinar. We'll be sending a recording, our sort of captured insights from this, and also, we will absolutely distribute any sort of email addresses and so forth, so you can continue the conversation and ask any further questions that you may have. But a massive thank you. You can also actually, in the app section in Livestorm, you can click apps and links to download the fabulous guides Mark has written on the subjects, so please feel free to download those too. Also, unfortunately, this event was meant to be in person, but TfL had different plans. But we are looking to have our in-person event on the 20th of March 2025 at the Penthouse, the Meunier Chocolate Factory near London Bridge. We do have a save the date registration page, which again we can share with you and will share with you in the next couple of days. So please do sign up, as we would love to see you all, speak about a different topic, and share a glass of wine with you. But again, thank you so much all for joining us. Do speak with us if you would like to use any of the product that Alex showed to you recently. And yeah, it's been great. And we hope to see you at another event very, very soon.
Thanks, Laura. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Brendan. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Emily.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you all. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.